All right, welcome to the November 2012 podcast for the behind the scenes thingamabobber that I'm just messing up this thing completely. That was a terrible intro, and I'm Cameron. And the first post that we have here is that here's the Gothic Go with the Flow members only thingy. And it says, our first update this month is a refresh of our weekly Tears of Gothics D&D. We've updated the XP rewards for everyone, so that can compete with more recently introduced ways of gaining XP, meaning that your weekly visit to Juna will be far more rewarding. If Tears of Gothics is something you've never tried, then this is a great reason to give it a go. We've also let the graphics team loose on the area, meaning that the cave, light creatures, and Juna have had a spectacular facelift that's so awesome it almost made her cry, with joy. If you're blessed with 80 mining and crafting and you've completed the Tears of Gothics quest, you'll also have the brand new option of making a bigger Ornate Bolt to catch those precious tears, meaning yet more XP, up to 5 times as much as you've got pre-update, for your lowest skill. So, after reading that, there's not much to say on it besides, yay, more reworking. So, it's just more reworking. But there is a nice little thing that they put at the end there with the 80 mining and crafting, how you can get more XP from the cave, which makes it actually worthwhile. Because honestly, at this point, once a week, I just can't be bothered to go anymore because I don't do the circus and any of that because I've already got all the rewards. The XP is just not really worth my time to actually go find the circus and do it. I mean, if I run into it and I'm not doing anything, then yeah, I probably will do it just for something to do. But honestly, it's just there's nothing really else to say about that because it just wasn't enough XP to care. But now that they've got this option for the 80 mining and crafting players, I think it's really gonna be worthwhile to do since it's 5 times as much. That is a lot more. Cause what do I get now? I think it's maybe like I don't know 20k XP or something like that if I get a decent amount of drops. There's a blue jay outside my window and staring at me awkwardly. Okay. Anyway. What the heck? Alright, what was I saying? Yeah, but that's gonna be a lot of XP. 20 times 5, that's like 100k XP. That is if I'm even on the assumption that I am actually getting 20k XP, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting pretty high, so that's a lot of XP. That really is. Even for my lowest skill, which is Hunter right now, I believe, that is actually quite a lot to get XP, and for that'd probably like level me up each week or so. Week, 2 weeks maybe, I'll get a level up. That is ridiculous, especially if I actually train it meanwhile. Ooh, I'm gonna love this update. It's gonna be ridiculous and amazing. And I honestly, have you guys actually seen Juna recently? Because she looked silly right now. She is like a green Play-Doh blob. That's what she looks like. She looks like a blob of Play-Doh. Not very well. And I wonder if maybe the Tormented Demons area is going to get a rework as well, because that could be a part of the cave. And maybe even the entire dungeon behind the Lumbered Cellar. Maybe even the Lumbered Cellar. That'd be cool. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this, because honestly, it's a lot of XP and a pretty little area, now that it's also giving me something to do every week, because I just never really went there anymore. After the first few times, I was like, well, this isn't actually worth my time anymore. Once a week, I just can't be bothered. I'm pretty sure back then, like, in the earlier days of this minigame, I guess you can call it minigame, maybe D&D, you should probably call it. Yeah, it's a D&D. I'm pretty sure that you can only do it once a week, and you had to do one quest before you did it. Because, like, I'm pretty sure it was you had to tell Juna a story of your adventures, and you can only do that if you've done one quest in between the last time you did it to the time that you wanted to do it in that 1 week. So I was like, you know what? I can't do a quest a week. Back then, I wasn't really skilled enough to actually do a quest a week, and I was just not able to do it. I was like, you know what? It's once a week, not a lot of XP, and have to do a quest. I'm not going to be able to do this, and I just gave up. But this is probably going to bring me back since it's a lot. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that. Secondly, we have the Dungeoneering XP increases for free players and members. And it states, as mentioned earlier in the year, we've been carefully looking at the XP rates for small dungeon groups, and we're ready to make some changes. We're still committed to giving the biggest rewards to groups of 5 players, but we've listened to your feedback and run countless dungeons ourselves to come up with a system that's fairer to all. Groups that contain fewer than 5 Dungeoneerers will receive an XP boost, with solo group XP boost being doubled as a minimum. Solo XP at higher levels can now reach a figure of 350k per hour, possibly even higher depending on the room rating qualities of the adventurer. While it's still most rewarding to explore with a group of 5 players, those of you going at it alone or in small groups will find your dungeon delving more worthwhile than ever. Don't forget that this means an increase to your Dungeoneering tokens too, meaning that ever elusive, chaotic, or bone crushing equipment will finally be in your grasp. So it's nice to see that they're doing this, because haven't we been asking for this exact thing for a long time now? We've been asking for XP increases to solo and all that dungeons just because it was so much more to do it with a group when some of us are lone wolves and stuff. I mean, 350k per hour it's good, but it's not the best. So people, even if they don't have much friends or they just don't want to go with a group and they just want to go Dungeoneer, like, I can completely see that happening. They will get a decent XP rate, but not the best. But then again, they are just choosing to not have the best because they don't want to be with people at that time. That's not like me, because I'd rather just go get with some randoms if I have to, just because, hey, why not? I'll lead them on. I'll go ahead and make the dungeon a bit faster. I'll give them that push that they need. But at the same time, I'll still get more XP because they're with me. They might be slowing me down a little bit, but I'll still get more. And now, even if if I get a good team, I'm still better at it. Like, even if it's a small good team, because just the amount of XP that it's sounding like, it sounds like it's worthwhile if you get a really good team and you run small dungeons really quickly. It might actually be a lot more XP. Just a little thought I'm throwing out there. But anyway, it's not really that much to talk about when it comes to this, just because it's saying, hey, more XP in Dungeoneering, what else do you really want me to say? There's not much more here, okay? It's just like a little heads up post. It's not really all that much to dabble on. Solo XP at higher levels can now reach figures of 350k per hour, and depending on the higher room rating qualities of the adventurer, while it's still rewarding in the group. Yeah, see, it's still more rewarding to go in a group of 5 than alone, but you'll still find it pretty worthwhile. Anyway, that's really all I have to say on that, because there's not much to talk about. Besides, hey, XP rewards. Continuing. Thirdly is probably the right word to use there. Arraign quests. Rune Mysteries free to play and members, and Rune Memories members only. It's just like the Ozan quests came out, and this is what it says. For the second time this year, we're releasing 2 exciting quests at the same time, focusing on one of our heroic trio of adventurers. The first of these quests will be the addition to the free game, and is a replacement for the old Rune Mysteries quest. This time, it's Arraign story that's explored, and it's a story that reaches back to the very foundations of one of our oldest game areas, the Wizard's Tower. Expelled for using forbidden knowledge, Arraigns returned to the Wizard's Tower to face a grave threat. It has long been known that the Wizard's Tower was built on the ruins of the older one, destroyed by a conflict between Sardamis and Zamorakian wizards, but the details have been buried for centuries. With these quests, the full story is revealed as you strive to help Arraign uncover the tower's lost secrets and save wizards from an unknown peril. As with the Ozan quest earlier in the year, this launch will see huge reworks of some of the oldest areas. The Wizard's Tower itself has been redesigned from the ground up, featuring a portal beam instead of stairs, animating bookcases, and 4 floors of enchanted wonders. The audio team have once again really made the environment sing with joy and, of course, given every character a new voice. The Rune Crafting Guild has also received some graphical spit and polish, so do make sure you pop by to visit. Rewards for this runific extravaganza include new titles, new mage outfits, a new mage weapon for low-level players, and rune essence rewards that grow as your runecrafting levels increase. There will also be additional hidden rewards for higher level players. Alright, so I'm very excited for this, actually, because if you were listening to anything I've said in previous videos, you will see that I actually love quests, and it is just the life of RuneScape for me, because I I'm a lore driven player, so I really love stories and all that jazz because honestly, I could care less about gameplay of some games if it has a really good story. I'll play through games just to find out the endings and stuff, just because I want to. That's just how I like to play. I know some people don't really find that the best way to play, but hey, that's just me. Um, and really, this is the reason that Tutorial Island was being removed from the map. This was said in one of the behind the scenes podcasts that, or no Q&A podcast, sorry, that Jagex put out, and someone mentioned what's going to happen to Tutorial Island because it's just been sitting there for a while, and they responded with, it's going to be removed or shifted somewhere else because they're going to be increasing the area size of the Wizard's Tower and its little island. Now you can see right there from the picture that uh, the the little island around it is no longer small actually, and the tower is looking pretty massive. So everything around the area has been reworked, and the island's going to be much bigger. Now, in response to what they said, I thought, now if they're going to increase the island and make Tutorial Island disappear, why wouldn't they just increase the island and make Tutorial Island like a little town that you could go to now? And make it almost in the same format, but maybe add a few buildings or whatever to make it more like a town. And then have the Wizard's Tower in the middle, so that I'm not sure if I'm missing some kind of part of the lore as to why this can't happen, but I'm pretty sure there isn't anything. The Wizard's Tower could be based inside of a little town, which is Tutorial Island, or used to be Tutorial Island, and the island could be all around that. Now, I don't really see any issues with it, but they didn't want to do that, so yeah, I'm a bit disappointed that they're removing Tutorial Island for this, but you know what? New quest, I'm good. I'm good with it. I'm kind of excited to know what's going on here, because I wonder if this is going to link in with spoiler alert, the old man and his telescope. I'm pretty sure it's a telescope. He's like looking at the Wizard's Tower. I'm wondering maybe it'll link together with that. Could possibly. And then they have like new rewards and stuff. So not only is it getting graphical overhaul, new quests, but it's also giving new titles, mage outfits, weapons, essence stuff. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good update that month or a week. Sorry, not month. This is all in 1 month. What am I talking about? So I'm really excited to see where this goes because honestly, it looks like a really good one this week. All right, next now we have a gravestone improvements free end players and why did I say free end players? What was that? Okay, let me try that again. Gravestone improvements free players and members. Another update this month inspired by player feedback is an update to the gravestones in the game, or more specifically the way in which you interact with gravestones after an unfortunate encounter with death. We've created an interface to hold your items rather than just drop on the floor, meaning that it's far easier to pick and choose what you wish to take rather than picking from a list of items. We've also added take all and re-equipped all button, which should help with getting back into the action after reaching the site of your untimely demise. Of course, the death himself wanted a reap all button, but we decided against it. Okay, so the gravestone update. It's a pretty neat little one, isn't it? Really, it's just a rework of the gravestones because previously, anyone who's died recently, really, in the past few years, has known what gravestones do if they try to even go back and get their stuff. A gravestone appears, and all of your items are dropped onto the floor that you were wearing or whatever you just didn't keep with you when you died, with your items that you get to choose. You probably know how it works. Where you get the 3 items or 4, maybe even 0 if you were skulled, and everything else drops on the floor underneath your gravestone, stays there until your gravestone decays, and everybody can take it and all that, and steal all your stuff like little buggers. But now they're going to change that so that instead of being like that, the gravestone becomes almost like a treasure chest. So you can open up that box and take out any items that you want, and it'll be almost exactly the same, except for there's much more useful buttons added in, which is the take all and the re-equipped all. So I guess if you have items that you were wearing when you died, those items will automatically pop back onto you. It won't automatically re-equip something that you didn't want to. So let's say you died with a rune plate body on and you had 5 adamant plates in your inventory, and you kept some adamant plates instead of the rune plate, and you went back to the gravestone, you clicked to re-equip all, you'll probably re-equip the rune plate because you were wearing it. That's probably a really complex thing to try to use an example, but you probably understand what I mean. And really, it's much better like that because they really needed that. I hated going back to my gravestone and having to spam click and then end up having like a bunch of people around, so I'd have to like right click, scroll down, find the thing, click it. It was just a mess. Now you can just one click probably, instead of read, it'll have loot or reclaim probably button on it. You can click that, opens up a little, probably the same screen that you use when you choose what items you want, except for it won't have that option at the top. It'll just be like a big box, almost like the Beast of Burden as well. Just click on any items that you want, or click the take all or re-equip all button, and you're good to go. And then of course Jagex, we all know them. They had to go stick. Death himself wanted a reap all button, but we decided against it. They love their jokes. I'll be honest, they're not exactly the best jokes ever, but they love them, so why not? Let's just go along with it. They wanted to put a little joke there at the end. So yeah, that's about it. I'm really glad to see this happening. I think it'll be really helpful. There's no changes to the way that it happens if it decays probably. So if it decays away, then your items will probably just pop up onto the ground for everybody to take and steal. But otherwise, it's probably for the better that we have this update. Followed by the gravestone improvements is the Make X free players and members. So there's a lot of free player and members things coming out this month, surprisingly. If you didn't notice that, actually. If you actually look closely at the posts, there's a lot of them. Perhaps the largest update this month, and certainly something that every player will use on a daily basis, is a complete overhaul of the interfaces and systems that use when making items. It takes all the information about item production, experience value, grand exchange, and alchemy prices, skill, and item requirements, and presents them in one place. This means you won't have to frantically check through skill guides or websites just to work out how to train those precious skills. It also includes some brand new features, as well as maintaining the older ones, like being able to clean inventory loads of herbs. So, the Make X option will pretty much be a rework of the whole thing, where it's just the making thing. We really needed it. The interface thing, they like spiffed it up a few times throughout the years and made it look more pretty, added a few options, but really they never completely overhauled it, and by this I think they're just overhauling the entire thing. So if you ever try to craft something, you'll know what this is. It's that little option that comes down to the box at the bottom, and it hovers over your chat box, and you choose how many you want to make of whatever item, and you choose the item. It's similar to like dragon hides, urns, fletching, bows and arrows and stuff, all that kind of stuff. It will tell you so much more information now, and I believe that there's going to be much more options for the things you can do, really. What do you want me to say on this? Hey, more options. Not really. Hey, it's gonna be look pretty. Yeah, well, that usually happens with every update. Well, maybe it's gonna be like better and stuff. Yeah, it probably will be. That's what they're saying. Huh. Yeah, well, there you go. It's they're overhauling the way that everything works. It's gonna show you all the useful information you could ever want when you come to this stuff. And basically, that's about it. The second last thing that we have here, because we have one other thing. The last one's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to go over it anyway because it's still a post, and I'm really excited for one of the things coming out next. Combat Academy and beta access for all free players and members. We will soon be launching the tutorial for the evolution of combat into our beta worlds, and we'll be opening those worlds to every single player. The Combat Academy, as it's called, is a great way to learn how the new combat system is going to work. To encourage you to try it out, we're offering a generous XP reward to the live account of players who complete both the Combat Academy and a quick in-game poll. These tutorials will be located in Lumbridge, just north of the castle, and are quick and simple to master, so do log in and let us know what you think. We thrive on your feedback, so the more people involved, the better. The new combat system is almost ready for launch, and this is your best chance to get ahead of the crowd. Alright, so the Combat Academy and beta access for all. So I'm excited for the beta access for all because now I can log in whenever I want, even though I've kind of lost interest in the beta. I'm going to be completely honest with that. I'm just not interested anymore. But now, if I ever wanted to check something out, I can. So I'm able to log in whenever I wish. The Combat Academy is like a new tutorial, really. That's pretty much what it's going to be. The new tutorial is going to show you the better way to do combat now with the new abilities and all that jazz. I'm a bit disappointed though that it's going to be in Lumbridge and it's not going to be out on Tutorial Island, but then again, we can always just blame that on Airain's quest coming out and Tutorial Island being moved. But then still, you could have just had that Tutorial Island be moved out a little bit more to the ocean, and then have this tutorial be on it. As for the generous XP reward to the live accounts, hey, why not? Whatever it gets to get people to go on there and do it, I'm completely fine with you. Just as long as it's not like, oh, here you go, have 100,000 million GPs. No, don't do that. Just you know what? A bit of XP, cool. You know what? 100k XP, fine, whatever. Go ahead. I have nothing wrong with that. So, and a quick in-game poll, that's not much for a little bit, honestly. So I advise that you guys should go check that out. Maybe do a little bit of a combat training. You'll get a bunch of XP on the live game, and hey, you might learn something. Because, I mean, it is going to be the real combat system soon, and might as well get used to it while you still can, unless you're quitting, which of course a lot of people seem to be doing. Or at least they say that they're going to be quitting. But that's a story for another time. Alright, the last post of this video. And for this month's BTS, I should probably say. The Solomon's General Store and Squeal of Fortune. Free players and members. Of course, already out, but there's some really interesting stuff. Solomon's Store is packed to the rafters with cool cosmetic gear this month. First up, the Dragon Keepsake box goes on sale. This nifty gadget allows you to turn any item into a cosmetic reskin for its usable slot. You can take on next with your Piat perched proudly on your head. Later this month, Solomon's also stocking the first hero packs, which include costume and weapon reskins, and teleport animations fashioned after the iconic RuneScape heroes. With these, you can rock that Ozan panache, or wield magic with begilding style like Airain. It helps us getting in on the action too, with replay tokens for your favorite D&Ds cropping up on the Squeal of Fortune. Another monthly run at the Troll Invasion, an extra weekly bash at the Circus, or newly reworked Jagex. Don't mind if I do. Full details are coming later in the month, so keep an eye on the news and on the forums. Okay, I am very interested for the Dragon Keepsake box because I really want to be able to wear my quest cape around without having that Takar Cal be in my bank, because like I like to wear my quest cape, but it's really not the best stats ever. where I wish I could have worn my Takar Cal with my Quest Cape look so long ago. The only thing I think I have a problem with this, against this, I should say, is that I don't think you're going to be able to have your character's stock clothing as a Solomon cover up, because I really want that, because my blue suit, as I call it, my quest cape, my staff of light, my blue staff of light, my rage fires, the blue clothes. You guys might have seen it already before. I don't know if you have, but that suit uses the stock clothing underneath. So if I had no shirt on, no uh, armor leggings, I'll have like the blue clothing, and that matches with my quest cape and the rest of my suit. But I can't use that with the dragon keepsake, so I'm gonna look really awkward if I try to do that. That's why I hope that they release an option for that sometime in the future where you can have stock clothing as an option. But so far, this is probably one of the best things that have ever come out on the Solomon store, because now we can wear Dragon Ceremonial, we can wear anything really, and still be quite efficient at what we're doing. As for the hero packs, it's a little bit weird, but I think it would probably be pretty cool to actually like dress up as one of the signature heroes. I don't really know though, because isn't it supposed to be the signature because they're not like anyone else? They stand out from the crowd. But if you're sitting there in like full Erane's clothing, doing Erane's quest with her, that would just be a little bit weird. That's just my opinion though. I mean, you guys can go ahead and say whatever you want about that, but that's just me. I think it would be pretty interesting to get one of their weapons though, or uh, have magical powers like Erain. I mean, that would be pretty cool because Erain's pretty powerful. Ozen's got that little wooden bow thingy. Um, Owen's got that sword. Yeah, it'd be, if you had their weapons, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe some of their armor would be pretty nice. Because Erain's got like Daemonheim gear, I'm pretty sure. Or it looks similar to the Daemonheim armor, even though it's not. And I really think that would be pretty awesome. Also, panache is a really weird word, and it means like the plume of a helmet. Yeah, I thought you guys something today, didn't I? And Yelps, of course. Yelps with his D&D stuffing now, of course. I don't mind it actually. I mean, that would be pretty fun if I could actually get extra runs at stuff that I can't do very often. I mean, like even with the new updates for the Tears of Gothics and all that. As I said in the post, don't mind if I do. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Do 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 dun do 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 dun dun do 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 dun do 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 dun 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 dun